Okay, so
Yeah.
I should. So I would like to welcome everyone again to this conference. A very warm welcome to all our guests present over here. As we know, we are gathered for the second International Young Folklorist Conference 2025 on sustaining the folk and introspection into preserving and reviving the lores of future in collaboration with CFSR and CFCS, organized by the University of the concluding day. This is the concluding day and second parallel session titled Folk Singer in Conversation on Root to Fusion and Fusion to Root. It is going to be an exciting musical session as we have a dynamic, globally known, conspicuous artist with us, Mr. Saurav Moni, who is an Indian folk singer and music researcher who specializes in the traditional folk music of Bengal. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our chair for this session, Ms. Debolina Guha Thakurta. Ms. Debolina Guha Thakurta is an executive member of CFSR and an assistant professor of English at Shri Shikshayatan College. I request you, ma'am, to take over the virtual stage and fill us in with more significant information about art and artists and guide us through this fascinating conversation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Akanksha. At first, I would extend my gratitude to CFSR and CFCS for organizing this second edition of Young Folklorist Conference. And it has been quite an engaging 3-day journey for all of us, I think. I also extend my gratitude to Professor Jolly Putusheri sir and also Dr. Intajali. And without further ado, let us begin our conversation because we have such truly a dynamic artist with us today in this evening, which happens to be the last day of the conference and the evening session. Welcome, Saurav, to this conversation. So let us begin the conversation with, how your journey started from the village, the river village from Hingalganj to the global platform, and why the boatman song mostly fascinated you. Let us start with that, and then we can move on with our performance.
Okay. So my village is located bordering Sundarban and Bangladesh, the last village in the southern Bengal. Um, I came to Kolkata for higher education and all. Okay. It was Jadavpur University somehow. And that year I was visiting my eldest brother's home in Mumbai. And I heard songs of Abbasuddin Ahmed. Abbasuddin was missing in the 80s when I was in school. And later I found a book written by Abbasuddin Ahmed, Amar Shilpi Jiboner Kotha. It was his autobiography. And the book was containing like number of records, like 300 plus records from SMB to Senola, Regal, Megaphone. And what I felt, those songs were missing in my childhood. And I found my village. I found myself in those songs. Those are river songs you were saying. And the river song, the name of the genre is Bhati Ali. Bhati means ebb, bhata, means low tide. So what I found in metaphor, all the songs telling a different story, a journey of life from the beginning to the end, like river flow. In the case of Bengal, all the rivers are coming from the Himalayan range, lower Himalayan range too, and meeting Bay of Bengal. And they are crossing so many rivers, and I can recall one of our uncle named Karim Kaka from Rangpur district of Bangladesh, present Bangladesh. He used to visit our village. And he, when I got those songs, I tried to recollect the whole story. Like a whole year they are sailing on board, pulling the boat, they're telling the stories, sharing stories, their experiences, and all the songs. So the genre Bhatiyali was not at all unknown to me. because it was propagated by the great composers like H.D. Burman earlier, R.D. Burman, his son, and sometimes Kishore Kumar and all the Bollywood, they came to know about this genre of music of Bengal. And what was frustrating, I ended up with 24 songs of Abbasuddin Ahmed's only. Recordings available is number 22 songs, number 24 songs. That includes Jari songs like Allah meg de, pani de, chaya de de tui, Allah meg de. আসমান হইল টুডা টুডা জমিন হইল ফাডা মেঘরাজা ঘুমাইয়া রইছে মেঘদি বোতর কেডায় আল্লাহ মেঘ দে পানি দে ছায়া দে দে তুই আল্লাহ মেঘ দে. This version of song was popular in my village, but it was not that popular in pan-Indian music scene. There was a remake of the song naming De Pyar De Pyar De Pyar De Rete. It was by some Bapila Edi, another great composer from Bengal. So the fusion, today's topic, Intaz was talking to me and Debolina, you shared, root to fusion and fusion to root. Those songs were missing in my childhood, and when I came to city, when I started sharing with my friends, see, in the city, what we are saying, few numbers, very few numbers of songs, like some 20 or 24 or 30 numbers of songs, getting like remake, popularity and popular. But where are those songs with that sort of depth and, it's a metaphor, the journey and the thought. In the case of Bhatiyali, what I found, Bhatiyali is a mix of, in Bengal's music, you will get three types of philosophy. One is Dehotattva. Dehotattva means it deals with the body, because the Baul is the mainstream philosophy here. It's a mix of, Buddhism, everything. So, and the Sahoj Pod means the easy way to find the truth, the search the God or whatever it is. So those followers are singing when with the Bhatiyali tune or with the Bhatiyali melody, they are using the reference. So the Dehotattva means knowing your body, because universe is living inside your body. And if you explore your body, you learn the truth, because the maker is sitting inside. He's not outside, not in the temple, not in mosque, not anywhere. Okay. And to know these things, you need a guru. Then a guru is then guru tattva. Second part is guru tattva. In the case of Bhatiyali, the type of metaphor, what I found in songs, suppose ওরে ও পরাণের মাঝি আমার কথা লয় রে মাঝি আমার কথা লয় ঝড় তুফান আইলে রে ডিঙ্গা কিনারে লাগায় রে আমার কথা লয় or কালো মেঘে সাজ কইরাছে পরাণ তো মানে না সাবধানে চালাইও মাঝি আমার নাও যেন ডুবে না রে বানাইয়া নদীর কুল পাইলাম না ঢাকা শহরে রং বাজারে রঙের বেছা কিনা আজি মদনগঞ্জে মহাজন মোরায়া ওই ঘাটে ভিড়াইও না বানাইয়া নদীর কুল পাইলাম না. In these songs, what I found, I had my explanation that time, but when I started searching for more and more, explain this song, explain the lyric. When I asked my gurus, they replied in a different way. Here, Kalo Meg refers to death, is equal to death. I love to cross the river, means the hurdle of life. River is flowing like my life is going like all the bends. Okay, so searching for the meaning of life. There are so many ways, and somehow we are blessed with rivers. In every 2 mile, you will get a river. In the case of Bengal, and it was it was shocking to me. You won't get 50 numbers of Bhatiyali. So in Bengal, three prevalent major genres are there. In the north, Bhavaya. In the western part of like the plateau region of West Bengal, bordering Jharkhand and all, Patnakpur plateau area. So there is Jhumur, and the rest of the Bengal is river in Bengal is Bhatiyali, coming with so many, like thousands of years people are composing, our masters are composing. There is no name in the end of the song, like who wrote this song, who composed this song. But somehow the village people, they were carrying this tradition. I'm from the village. When I heard those songs from Papa Sultan Ahmed, I recalled my whole childhood, and it was like uh, I know all the tunes, all the melodies is like I had no lyrics with me. So it was easier. When I got the songs, I started singing. And my friends experienced first time, few of them were sharod players, like the lute player, classical musicians. They joined me and we made a band, uh, naming Maji Malla. Maji Malla, the boatman of Bengal. Like we travel in different regions, pick songs and share them. That's how I started my journey.
Very fascinating and wonderful,
Mm.
Shurokta. Was thinking, as you were talking about, you remember the tunes, but many people did not write. I mean, you couldn't find out who were the lyricists. This
Mhm.
brings to my mind certain things about what do you think? Do you think that in a folk song, particularly which talks about the life of people, which talks
Mm.
about a certain community, their livelihood, their daily struggle, do you think that tune is more important to Bhatiyali or say any other folk song, or the lyrics, the words which expresses their struggle, their
Mhm.
survival, daily problems, their community? How
Mm.
do you kind of think about that? What is your opinion about that?
In the case of Bengal, we have found like and collected, I made those collectors even. There are 265 genres of folk music and lyrics containing day-to-day life, love, languagement, and all the things. Apart from that, the uh, you know, main three part of the philosophy is like Guru Tattva, Deho Tattva, and the last one is Prakriti Tattva, the reference, like the dark cloud, the river current is desire, modern ganja means the market of last or desire, whatever it is, we are busy with that. So all the songs, apart from this love, day to day, daily life, sharing all stories and everything, sometimes fishing, sometimes working. Okay, so folk music, to some extent, in the Western world, what I found, they say uh, workers' music. So it's not like that here in the case of Bengal. Bengal's music is more and more mystic because when you are pulling the boat against river current, you are going to sing the first form of the first tempo Bhatiyali songs means Shari song like hey shamal 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 yo re shamle tori bai yo hey yo de hey 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 yo বেলা গেল সন্ধ্যা হইলো কালো মাঘে গগন ছাইলো হো থাইকা থাইকা গর্জে দেওয়া তীরের পানে ধাইयो থাইকা থাইকা গর্জে দেওয়া তীরের পানে ধাইयो হেইয়ো রে হেইয়ো হেইয়ো রে হেইয়ো লাহোর সাইয়ো রে ভাই রে কুলের নাই রে দিশা গগন নামিয়া গেছে নদীতে যে মিশা নাইকা আমার সঙ্গী সাথী দুই কুলে মোর কালো রাতি হো. So, the waves in the river and I am selling my body boat. So apart from like pulling the boat, the meaning is the lyrics containing a different, will take you to a different direction altogether. In the last line, ঢেউ খেলে রে এই দরিয়ায় নাইকা দইরার পাড়ি বাঙায় আমার ছোট্ট নামে বোঝাই দিছি ভাডি কেমন কইরা হে কান্ডারি ভিড়াময়ী ভাঙা তরি হো ঢেউ খেলে রে এই দরিয়ায় নাইকা দইরার পাড়ি ভাঙায় আমার ছোট্ট নামে বোঝাই দিছি ভারি ভাঙা now means the broken boat. Why it's a broken boat? So when you are referring your body like a selling sheep, so it's going to break someday, no? The seven stages of man. So all the Bhatiyali songs, when I found, is equal to like all the Baul songs, all the Sufi songs. But it's coming with a different melody of the river, a landscape of music. Very interesting.
Very interesting and very fascinating as we are listening to you. Saurav, I think all of us would love to listen a full song from you. We are waiting for that. I just saw
truly.
you were just getting that string instrument ready. So can we have that?
A very small song from South Bengal, Serious town. ও নৌকা খোলো আরে নৌকা খোলো বাদাম তোলো ভাটা যে বয়ে গেল রে নৌকা খোলো আরে নৌকা খোলো বাদাম তোলো ভাটা যে বয়ে গেল রে নৌকা খোলো ঈশান কোণে মেঘ জমেছে খোদা করতেছে শোঁ এখানে নৌকা বাইন্ধা থো ঈশান কোণে মেঘ কইরাছে খোদা করতেছে শোঁ এখানে নৌকা বাইন্ধা থো ওরে ভব নদীর পারে যাবার তাড়ারে খোলো নৌকা খোলো বাদাম তোলো ভাটা যে বয়ে গেল রে নৌকা খোলো করে ভব নদীর পারে যাবার তাড়ারে খোলো You can explain the songs.
Beautiful, beautiful, lovely, wonderful. Saurav, I was thinking as you were telling just now, you also with your friends, they joined you and they were, a few of them, maybe classical musicians, Sharod player, and even I was looking at one or two of your performances, and I saw sarangi players and violin players were also there. Now, there are certain particular instruments which we think or which we know that are mostly used in folk performances. But you are making it all so inclusive, including sarangi, violin, sharod. So how do you negotiate with that? In these instruments, primarily it's thought about more classical, right? So how do you negotiate with that?
I can reply you with a song, few lines.
Yes, of course, of course.
তোমার বাড়ি আমার বাড়ি মধ্যে সুর নদী সেই নদী কেমনে হইল অকুল জল ধীরে বন্ধু আমি তোমার নাম লইয়া কান্দি সোনা বন্ধুরে আমি তোমার নাম লইয়া কান্দি গগনেতে ডাকে দে আবার আসমান হইল আন্ধিরে বন্ধু আমি তোমার নাম লইয়া কান্দি তোমার বাড়ি আমার বাড়ি মধ্যে সুর নদী between your home and my home there's a river of melody between. So all the instruments we are putting, it's to communicate more landscape, more people, more variations, and the connection between each other. Like the landscape I'm from, we're from, and see few divisions between these instruments. We are calling sometimes it's a sarangi, Indian classical instrument. But if you look at the real scenario, sarangi is evolving from some the bowing group of you know instruments. So in the case of Bengal, this bowing is not violin. Our violin we are calling it sarinda. You know, in the West they are calling it violin or the cello. In the mainstream Indian scene, we're calling it sarangi, yogi sarangi, whatever it is. In Nepal, sarinda is there also. So the type of instrument, if we look at, so bowing is one. Another one is like wind instrument. So when we are talking about, in the case of Bengal, Bengal's nature is like so green, plain land, rivers, no, all the reflecting mirrors is there, sunlight, moonlight. So its weather shaped it is a folk song with the bamboo flute, very sharp feel. In the case of North Bengal, you listen to the Bhavaya songs, like any category of Bhavaya song, like Chitan, Dikhal Nasha, Doriya, Hirol, whatever it is. The sharp use of sharp flute. In the case of Iran, you'll get the same type of flute, the sharp, shrill noise. And in the case of West, so they are experiencing a society with industrial revolution, heavily influenced by the industrial revolution. Last 200-300 years, 400 years, they are habituated with the machine and everything. So they evolved the same they converted the same flute to clarinet, cornet, trumpet. So we are shaping the whole thing in according to our need. In the case of lute, the school of lute, see, this is a gift from North Bengal. So in this place in North Bengal. So in the case of South Bengal, we play a different style dotara. Metal comes with the metal string because the resonance is required. The vibration more and more. In if you go to Egypt or Middle East, you'll find oud, same lute, no freight, no freight. It means all the bars are frets, like in the guitar. So if you are clapping here, clipping here, you're getting a different octave of sound. Or here, you are getting shrutis, means unidentified notes. Like classical notation or any notation, you can write notes. But in the case of folk music, they mostly use the shrutis. These are shrutis. So that is possible in this fretless instrument. Okay, so in the West, lute took a different shape, evolved as guitar. So lute is everywhere. In China, you will get. So those societies who are existing with a primitive or medieval lifestyle, they are surviving or existing with more and more rooted or uh, you can say original form of folk music, more and more original, because time is shaping them every time. So when you are talking about fusion, fusion is nothing. Fusion is like, suppose you're going out 2025, this is month of March, you are living in Calcutta. Okay. So you are going outside with a hat, with a pant and everything. Because for our need, we need this. Go to village, a simple gamcha or the towel, a dhuti is fine, or a lungi is fine. No one is worried about you are wearing a t-shirt or not, because you are wearing. So music is also, when I was performing in Coke Studio, the same question appeared before me, like, what is this? Then I found, the headlines of the newspaper in mainstream Indian newspapers and all the magazines like Soundbox magazine, and everyone was writing like mixing Coke with folk. Means Coca-Cola is expanding its market, entering the village area. That's it.
Lovely, nice. What a great idea of inclusivity of everything. Can we hear more songs, short of the other different forms, like say Bhavaiya? You were talking just now about Bhavaiya. Can we hear
Mhm.
some more?
See, I'm not a Bhavaya singer, but I can
A
I
little
can
bit.
share the examples, because Bhavaya it needs a different sort of vocal rendering. Um, ওরে আগানায় ডুবো ডুবো পাছানায় বইসো ডোঙায় ডোঙায় ঠেকুন জল রে ও কন্যা পাছানায় বইসো ডোঙায় ডোঙায় ঠেকুন জল রে জল ছেকিতে সেউতির ছিড়িল দড়ি গলার হার খসে আহা কন্যা হে কন্যা সেউতি কি লাগানো দড়ি গলার হার খসে আহা কন্যা হে. I'm telling you, I'm sharing few songs. When a when the Bhavaya region is meeting the Bhatiyali region, Hawaii region a little upper highland, okay, and the main movement is like bullock cart movement or the elephants movement. So all the songs are containing those sort of movement, like উকি গাড়িয়াল ভাই কত রব আমি পন্থের দিকে যায় রে যেদিন গাড়িয়াল উজাল ধার নাদির মোল মোর জুইলা রয় রে উকি গাড়িয়াল ভাই হাঁকাও গাড়িটি তিল মারি বন্দরে রে উকি গাড়িয়াল ভাই কত রব আমি পথের দিকে so extreme notes, part not that part of Bhavaya region singing is like this, or you can say it's a non song. প্রিয় বন্ধু কাজল ভোমরারে কোনদিন আসিবেন বন্ধু কয়া যাও রে যদি বন্ধু যাইবার চাও ঘাড়ের গামছা থুয়া যাও রে বন্ধু কাজল ভোমরারে কোনদিন আসিবেন বন্ধু কয়া যাও কয়া যাও ইও বন্ধু কাজল ভোমরারে. But when the Bhavaya region is meeting the riverine delta, riverine area, so those songs are different. দেওয়ায় করছে মেঘ মেঘালি তোলাল পুবাল বাও ধীরে কেনে বাওয়াও তরি হে তুমি ধীরে কেনে বাও ধীরে কেনে বাওয়াও তরি হে হাড়িয়া মেঘা কুড়িয়া মেঘা আড়িয়া মেঘার নাতি আইছে দাওয়ার ঝড়ি হে ও দাওয়া তোলাল পুবাল বাও ধীরে কেনে বাওয়ার ঝড়ি. Examples. But most popular songs are, chatka songs. Means, chatka is like a little for it comes with a first tempo one, and the lyrics is bit different. Uh, you heard the song na Bhalo Koira Bajan Go Dotara. It was recorded in the 60s.
Yes.
That sometimes compelled me to sing the root one, original one, because the folk music is getting like shattered sometimes. People are not composing or remixing; they are decomposing sometimes. So listen to this song. This is the record in the 60s by Debolina Chaudhary. ভান কইরা বাদান গো তোরা সুন্দরী কমলা নাথে সুন্দরী কমলার পরনে শাড়ি আহার দে ঝলমল করে রে সুন্দরী কমলা সুন্দরী কমলার চরণে নুপুরি নিধিনি কইরা বাজে রে ভান কইরা বাজান. So it was his singing style. But when I found the raw recording of North Bengal of 1940s, it was a different experience. Here, Sundari Kamala is like we call in Bangla na Bisheshon. Ah. In the regional collection of songs, when I found it was sung by some Keshav Barman. আজি ভায়াল করে বাজান রে দোতরা সুন্দর কমলা নাচে. Here, Kamala is Sundar, not Sundari. And Sundari is a gender specific thing, Bisheshon and Sundar Kamala. Sundar is beautiful. Because all the males they used to dress like girls and they used to dance and collecting money or begging and living in villages. আজি সুন্দর কমলার পরনে শাড়ি রইদে ঝলমল করে রে ভায়াল করে না বাজান রে দোতরা সুন্দর কমলা নাচে. এ বাড়ি হইতে ও বাড়ি গেনু ঢাকায় শীত শীত পানি গাবুডির ভিজিল জামার জোড়া কইনার ভিজিল শাড়ি রে ভায়াল করে বাজান রে তোরা. In the 60s, the one line was confusing. এবাড়ি হইতো বাড়ি যাই রে ঘাটামারি ঝিলমিল পানি রে. No meaning sometimes. Helia Dulia pore Nakeshorer full. Nakeshorer full is missing in Pan Bengal. So these are the things happening in the name of sometimes fusion or confusion, whatever you say.
Yes, like you
Questions.
said.
Oh, where are other friends? Sarah? All the participants.
Okay, we have Dhruba. Dhruba is requesting Shoravda Aga Nave Dubu Dubu, please.
I was singing that song. করে সম সুন্দরী পার করিতে নিছঙ্গ জ্বালায়ানা I don't sing regularly, okay, so the lyrics is missing. চোখ সুন্দরীকে পার করিয়া রে ও কন্যা নিছং কানের সোনা ভরা গাঙের খেওয়া দিয়া রে ওরে আগা নায়ে ডুবো ডুবো পাছা নায়ে বইছো ডোঙায় ডোঙায় ছ্যাঁকন জল
Devjit was requesting Torsha Nodir Uthal Pathal.
Oh my God, that is also a Bhavaya Bhattiyali. We can call it, I don't know, I'll ask in touch, but we will have to rename this genre, like between Bhavaya and Bhattiyali region. Torshanadi Uthal Pathal is a beautiful song, one of my favorite. There are another song, Torshanadi, with Torshanadi reference. The first song is তোরসা নদীর উথাল পাথাল কারবা চলে না সোনা বন্ধুর বাদে রে মোর কেমন করে গাও রে তোরসা নদীর উথাল পাথাল রে বন্ধু আমর বাণী গেইছে উজানিয়ার দেশে সেই না দেশে পুরুষ বান্ধা পড়ে নারীর কেশে রে নানান জনের নানান কথা শোনো না খোরাও তোরসা নদীর উথাল পাথাল কারবা চলে না and there is a beautiful line একনা তারা দোকুনারে তারা তারা ঝিলমিল করে এমন মজার রাতি যায় রে পরাণ নারয় ঘরে রে মনতে মোর লোখরে কথা তোরসা নদীর উথাল পাথাল কারবা চলে না all these songs are telling a different story, like that Korim Kaka used to visit our village in South Bengal. I think these songs composed by their wives, and in the case of Bengal's folk music, Polligiti, Bhavaya and all, it should be sung by the women. Most of 80% should be, but sad news.
Saurav, one of our friends is asking if possible, Tumar Ghare Boshot Kore.
তোমার ঘরে বসত করে, this is a different genre of song. Okay, তোমার ঘরে বাস করে কারা মন জানো না, তোমার ঘরে বসত করে কয়জন. It's composed very contemporary era song. If I can replace I can replace this song because I don't sing this song. My music area is pre-1959. The death of Abbasuddin Ahmed is the last, year. So my collection is very old, on 200 years old. পাখি কখনো জানি উড়ে যায় একটা বদ হাওয়া লেগে খাঁচায় পাখি কখনো জানি উড়ে যায় আচার আড়া পোলো ধসে পাখি আর দাঁড়াবে কিসে আমি যেই ভাবনা ভাবছি বসে আমার চমুখ জরা বইছে যায় আমার চমক জোড়া বইছে গায়ে পাখি কখন জানি উড়ে যায়।
Can we have খাঁচার ভিতর অচিন পাখি?
Hmm. I'm singing those parts. We sing in South Bengal in a bit different way. Because all the Bhanga Kirtanas, you know, it's a বন তুই রইলি খাঁচার আসে খাঁচা যে তোর কাঁচা বাঁশে ওরে কোনদিন খাঁচা পড়বে খসে কোনদিন খাঁচা পড়বে খসে লালন কেঁদে কয় কেমনে আসে খাঁচার ভিতর অচিন পাখি কেমনে আসে তারে ধরতে পারলে মন বেড়ি আমি দিতেন পাখির পা কেমনে you all know the song. You can sing. Any more requests? Questions?
Yes, I think Ruba is again asking if Dine Dine Khoshiya Poribe.
Rongila Dalaner Mati. A good request. See, this song we heard from the collection of Gwalpara Beat, recorded by Fatima Bodua first time. But we missed another recording of Abbasuddin Ahmed. Though this song I collected from South Bengal. Whatever you heard from Papon is our friend, good friend. So he was also, I was talking to him because it's a Dehotattva song and it should be complete because the last verse is missing. I'm singing the last two verses. বাল্যকাল গেল ধুলাতে খেলাতে জৈবনে পড়ি গেল ভাটি গোসাই গি জৈবনে পড়ি গেল ভাটি দিনেরও দিন খসিয়া পড়িবে রঙ্গিলা দালানের মাটি গোসাই দি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধিয়াছ ঘর তুমি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধিয়াছ ঘর গোসাই দি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধিয়াছ ঘর গুরুর বাগানে কুল ফুটেছে ভ্রমরা সুর গুনগুন করে গোসাইজি ভ্রমরা সুর গুনগুন করে তুমি সুজন দেখিয়া করিও প্রীতি সুজন দেখিয়া করিও প্রীতি মরিলে বাঁচাইতে পারে গোসাইজি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধে আছো ঘর তুমি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধে যাচ্ছ ঘর গোসাই দি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধে যাচ্ছ ঘর হাড়ের ঘর খালি চামড়ার ছাউনি ছন্দে বন্দে ঘেরা ও সে ঘরের ভেতরে ময়ূরা ময়ূরী করতেছে রসের খেলা গোসাই দি কোন রঙ্গে বান্ধে যাচ্ছ ঘর This is the South Bengal style of singing. I should record this song. Thank you for asking me to sing this song. This Gurur Bagane full footage is missing in the northeastern part of India.
Okay, we have a question, Saurabh, from Pronomo, and he asks, sir, as a folk singer, do you think it is imperative to save the culture, and why and what message would you give to your younger generations who are into modern music and tend to turn away from the folk song, as many a times it is seen as a factor of othering or maybe dull, boring? He's primarily talking about, making or differentiating folk as other and particularly the kind of world that we have right now, and how, therefore, would you kind of advise or your ideas about how would you ask the younger generation to kind of
Then I'm coming back to the first question. Thank you for asking. Uh, See, it's sometimes dull, sometimes boring because when it's not communicable or you are not understanding anything, if you listen to the Baul songs, you won't get a single word sometimes. But when it's coming with a true folk melody or a very rare melody, sometimes why these, every region is blessed with so many genres of folk music. In the case of Bengal, I was talking that there are 265 genres of folk music. And in India, in every 2 mile, you will get a different dialect, a bit different food habit, different costume, different melody. But see, we are living in a developing country. And ad goes in this sort of countries, according to our study, it's like whatever you had is not good, whatever we are showing you is good. So it's a big market. And folk music is never talks about the market or anything because it's like oxygen, No one, we are buying any oxygen, but we are just in a limit. So folk music is like that. When some songs getting popular through Coke Studio, through Bollywood or something, say uh, uh, that song was it was done by some Baksha or something. বড় লোকের বিটি লো লম্বা লম্বা চুল এমন মাথা বেঁধে দিব লাল যদি প্যার দে প্যার দে. So Allah make the party they was containing the message of no rain, Allah give us cloud, give us rain and everything. So sometimes we are not looking into our own things, because you need a greater, conscience, consciousness or conscience to understand. Suppose I can like any type of food that is every day you will get in your family, in your home, you won't like that. You will rather prefer a pizza. You know, see, Angelina Jolie is not my auntie, but I sometimes see in the newspaper, top corner of the newspaper. So the mixing Coke with folk was the tagline for me. That is an example. So when some A.R. Rahman is speaking a song from Tamil Nadu or South India, and it's coming to the mainstream language, your so-called boredom or your canvas of music is getting a new variations of composition. So when we listen to the golden era music of 1960s of Kolkata, in my study, those songs are influenced by the Slavic music, Mediterranean music, and Middle Eastern music. I was thinking of like discussing few numbers when Nazrul is mixing, and in the case of fusion, there's a composition naming Uskudara. So I don't play instruments, except Ektara. Uskudara is the composition. You get the exact copy. So when he composed first, it was recorded by Abbas bin Ahmed. ত্রিভুবনের প্রিয় মোহাম্মদ এলো রে দুনিয়ায় আয় রে সাগর আকাশ বাতাস বেগ বিজোড়ি আয় 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 রে সাগর আকাশ বাতাস দেখবি যদি আয়। দেখে আমি না মায়ের কোলে, দোলে শিশু ইসলাম দোলে, কচি মুখে শাহাদাতের বাণী সে শোনায় রে সাগর আকাশ বাতাস দেখবি যদি আয় 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 রে সাগর আকাশ বাতাস দেখবি যদি আয়. So the melody was first recorded during the Ottoman Empire in 1200 AD to 1400 AD. In the court music collection, this notation you will get. So Nazrul said he was a very clever composer, and he thought about the the listeners of Kolkata, because mostly Hindu population, they won't listen to this Tribhuvan Priya Muhammad and all. So he again composed using this melody. Hmm. শুকনো পাতার নুপুর পায়ে নাচেছে ঘূর্ণি বাই, জল তরঙ্গে দিলিমিলি ঢেউ খেলে. We are, because this urban life is habituated with first melody, first tempo, and everything. Folk music is different, totally different. It deals with তুমি হয়েও চান্দরে বন্ধু আমি গাঙের পানি, জোয়ারে ভাটাতে হবে নিথই জানা জানি রে বন্ধু, নিথই জানা জানি বন্ধু, রং রঙিলা রঙিলা রে রং. I sang this song in this tempo, not the tempo recorded by S.D. Burman. And my argument was this song got collected from the lower river Padma region by Jashimuddin. And it was a local song. So when S.D. Burman thought about the urban listeners, he again sang the song with a higher tempo, keeping the melody, keeping the tune and everything. So the question he asked, I feel the same thing, because when I recorded the song, মালো মাঝিলোর জি বউলো বউ আমি করলাম কি ডঙ্গে, ভাঙ্গা বাইতে যাইলাম গাঙ্গে, মালো মাঝিলোর জি বউলো বউ আমি করলাম কি ডঙ্গে, with a sharp snare, one kick when in drum, because this beat we are habituated with the horn, with everything. These simple village life melodies is not sometimes, they are like the water of Pacific Ocean and water of Atlantic Ocean. They are not mixing. They don't mix. Now, what I feel, suppose we all are from villages. We build this city for our work only, work purpose. This is urban life and everything. But we are coming from village and we are not sharing our lineage here. What is happening? We are dictating the villagers that you follow me. In the West, what happened? I was singing a couple of years ago. I was working with Scottish musicians, and there is a beautiful project with the British Council, naming folk nations. What I found when I am singing a song, theme is date. They're singing the same song. Any song of Bengal or India, you will get a copy in Pashto language. We'll have to use the ear, listen to the world music. It's a huge, not only the numbers or like what we're doing now, some advertisement coming and we're listening to it. That's it. And manipulating the market media is, who is going to discuss this? See, suppose I'm a villager, I cultivate my land, I'm busy with my children, on my fishing pond and everything. So I'm not going to sit you to argue you. So the first question, it was what I felt, if we share our knowledge, what we heard in the village area, now the research on Bhatiyali or the Chai Pe Charcha, like, Bhatiyali Charcha is expanding because we are from village and we are sharing the two things. And we are trying to promote it either in fusion way or in the rooted way. When we are mixing Dotara with a guitar, then Dotara is getting popular more and more. In the streets of Berlin, you will get more shops than Kolkata, instrument shop, where you will get a Dotara, a tabla, a dholok. And the translation, the best ever translations done by the Western people. In the case of research, you see, it was Taggart who shared Lalon with us, 296 songs. His disciples and believers, they believe Lalon composed 133,000 verses. We found till date 1300 plus songs composed by him. During Lalon's time, there were more than 200 great composers or the Mahajans that time. Think about India. Songs coming to Coke Studio or some other platforms or Bulle Shah, then Bulle Shah is a great composer. Somebody is making a Kabir Cafe team, then Kabir is becoming popular. They were popular since ages. No notation, nothing, but we are singing those songs. No problem. No advertisement, no top 20 UK, no Billboard magazine, nothing required. No review, no Jibangla, nothing required. So what's the means the atomic structure of this music? We are trying to explore that also. What's the magic inside?
Beautiful.
Questions?
Beautifully said, Saurav. This reminds me of one of my experiences when I was learning folk music from Dinen Chaudhary, long time back. I could only learn for a very few months, after which he passed away. But that was also, a similar kind of experience. And Master Masha used to tell us about all these things, the stories, and how it speaks about the root, about the soil, and the openness of the songs, so wonderful. I mean, I'm just reliving those moments as I had spent those few months with Master Masha and listening to him and learning from him.
Debolina,
As you are also talking about Nojrul Giti Saurav, I am also reminded of few songs of Nojrul, say Podda Dheure, for example. It's a beautiful rendition again. I mean, I am a Nojrul Giti artist, so I feel
a classical example of Bhatiyali, unbelievable. I was talking about like some 40 songs you will get. So that's Podda Dheure is one of them, no? O Podda re তোর ঢেউতে ঢেউ ওঠায় যেমন চাঁদের আলো মোর বড়
রূপ তেমনি ঝিলমিল করে কৃষ্ণ পারে। Lovely.
ও সে প্রেমের ঘাটে ঘাটে বাঁশি বাজায় যদি দেখিস তারে দিস সেই পদ্ম তার পায় বলিস কেন মিছে আশার দেয়ালি জ্বালিয়ে নেবে গেল চির অন্ধকারে. So it's like going down and
yes, and then Poddar Dheure
we'll have to work more. I'm thankful to all the organizers and the participants because it's time. Because Abbasuddin wrote one line in his autobiography, "Amar Shilpi Jiboner Kotha." দেশ যত শিল্পায়িত হবে, লোকায়ত সংস্কৃতি, লোকগান তত হারাতে থাকবে। See, our society when will be more and more influenced by the industrial, mm, civilization or industrialization or technically equipped society, will forget more and more about our root and everything. Because last 200 years or more than 200 years, we are saying in the boat, machine arrived in boat. So when the silence and the noise of the old, the waves, that help creation of Bhatiyali music. But when you are riding a boat with the engine, okay, no, nothing. So that's why we are not getting larger number of Bhatiyali songs. We are searching for more and more, like compositions of Lalon Shah when he is using the melody of Bhatiyali, the genre of Bhatiyali, sometimes Nazrul, compositions of S.G. Barman, and till date we have found eight rhythms of Bhatiyali. I think we'll discuss later. There is another region, and if you connect Tripura and Noakhali and these regions, of S.G. Barman. So we'll have to work on the ninth region of Bhatiyali music.
I'm reminded, as you were talking about S.D. Burman, I'm reminded of the film Aradhana, where where he himself is singing, "Mera sajan hai us par, main manmar hu us par, ho mere
Madhi,
ab ki baar le chal paar."
Mera sajan hai us par, pure Madhi, oh.
Can we have some Dhua song, Saurabh?
Those songs are different. So you see, when Bollywood is using this melody, the genre is becoming popular. So there are so many genres unexplored, and we'll have to share with the mainstream listeners. Because who is born and brought up in the city, you can't blame him because he had no exposure.
Exposure, yes.
Nobody shared because we all the villagers coming to the cities, raising buildings, getting jobs, and we're forgetting our own things. So we're not sharing. So sharing must be there. You were talking about Dhua songs. Dhua songs is composed by the, book says a different story, but truly, it has no rule. You can compose it Dhua song even. Continuing this conversation, okay. But I had the opportunity of my first group of musicians in the Madhimalla team came from the Kahar community only in my village. Kahar community means the Kabbalah community. And this community is divided with four divisions like Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, and also in the Hindu in the caste system. And in the Kahar community, there is one community coming, the Dhai Kahar, means their wives are like the first nurses of this continent. Okay, Dhai Ma, Dhai Kahar, and the Shuro Kahar. They are like the we call it Jajabod, na?
Nomadic.
Nomadic people. They used to work with the pigs and all. So thousands of they are traveling one field to another like that. Shuro Kahar, Dhai Kahar, and there's another Kahar community named Malo. You heard the song Lila Bali, no? So
Yes.
there's a marriage song of the Malo community. Okay, Malo, they're the fishing community of these Kahars. Okay. And another community is the Palanquin community, Palanquin bearing the bearer community, named Ramoni Kahar. So Shiraz Shai, he belonged to this community. Okay, so very hard, that's the hard truth. The, the Ramonikar, they are the Palanquin bearers and the most higher in this class. So well, I asked them, the Palanquin songs are not always those hum re hum na palki chole. So all the Bhatiyali songs you heard, it's composed when Uma jire apuna kinara. So when you are not from that field, you are thinking of that, you will use this sort of lyrics. So the difference between the S.D. Burman and R.D. Burman is like that. R.D. Burman hard, and S.D. Burman, he lived the life in that area. So in the case of this community, they are the composers of these Guha songs. So no,
Okay.
also, and you can say most of the compositions composed by or written by Vijay Sarkar, you can call it Guha. So it's descriptive songs of the village community, okay, the village people, and there could be a tempo or could not be a tempo, like that. So, um, mhm. So asked him to sing a song like when you are carrying the palanquin and you are carrying the bride in between two houses. Okay, what do you say? No need to dance, nothing. এখনো কেন কাদরে জামেলা পালকির দুয়া ধরে ওরে জামেলা সুন্দরী ফিরে চলো আপন দেশে তারায় করে ঝিকির মিকির গো চাঁদে করে আলো ওরে রামেলা সুন্দরী ফিরে চলো আপন দেশে তারায় করে ঝিকির মিকির গো চাঁদে করে আলো ওরে নামেলা সুন্দরী ফিরে চলো আপন দেশে এখনো কেন কাঁদরে আমেলা পালকির দুয়া ধরে
Lovely. Beautiful.
See, meaning of the song is very different now. Because when a girl is leaving her, fathers are home, he's leaving everything like he's between two homes. No, he's living between two homes. So it is different. And then they are the first, band of our country, if you can say, because all the Kahars are the first generation musicians. They used to play the clarinet, cornet, all the dhags, rolls, and everything. They are the makers and players. The unrecognized community of Bengal.
Okay. Saurav, we are reaching almost to the end of our discussion and session. So what we gather throughout, the first thing is your collection. It's, I think, to envy. I mean, we want to listen more and more from you. Maybe some other days in some other conference, we'll be able to listen more and learn more from you. Just one thing, almost at the end of our discussion, and then we'll, of course, end with one of your songs, maybe Majhi Bai Ya Jao Re, or whichever you want to sing. But before that, so therefore, are these performances that you do, this is also a part of curatorial act, right? You are also, as you're singing, you're performing in different parts of the world, and you're mixing this Bengal, the essence of Bengal with the world, letting the world know, as also you are absorbing the world music at the same time. it is already a part of curatorial work you're doing. And if, as Pranamba was asking about this, archiving, which happens to be the very theme of our conference, sustaining the folk, preserving and reviving. So in this world of digital, too much of digitization, this act of performance itself, therefore, is a curatorial act. What do you think about that?
See, I was talking to Mainak Biswas, the son of Hemango Biswas, the great composer and singer also. So she was saying the same thing, that all the performances, all the conversations must be recorded. Why the recording is required? When I started my journey in 1998, 99, that time, I had no record or nothing. So I'm singing those songs I heard that time using my memory only and my ears and the copying, my copying standard accordingly. So if I I had those recordings, I'll be able to show you. See, because I'm not a singer actually, I'm a storyteller, you can say, because I don't know the notation of things, but I can compose in sitting in the west or east or anywhere. Mm, so you won't be able to write in notations also, or following the notation, you won't be able to sing folk songs at least. So the conservation or the preservation, I'll prefer the conserving things. Okay, like I targeted like 10 friends of mine. I'll sing for them, and those 10 friends will share the story with another 10, 10, 10. How it will expand. So sometime I'm these days I'm following Mr. Imtaz Ali's works. Okay, how he's working in this field, and he is correcting his area. And the river in Bengal was unexplored truly. When I met him first in 2013, 12, Imtaz came to Kolkata and he met me. I shared him the same story. See, you are from a different region, explore your area. Follow our work. So, Maji Baya Jaure, we all are the Majis. My song, the lyrics was like that, no? Because we are selling our body boat. O Maji Baya Jaure, O Kuludori Aramaje, Amar Bangana, Maji Baya Jaure. ধন্না কাষ্ঠের নৌকা খালি মাঝখানে তার গুঁড়া ধন্না কাষ্ঠের নৌকা খালি মাঝখানে তার গুঁড়া নৌকার আগার থাইকা পাছায় গেলে গলুই যাবে খোয়া রে মাঝি বায়া যাও রে মাঝি বায়া যাও রে ও কুল দরিয়ার মাঝে আমার ভাঙা নাও রে মাঝি বায়া যাও রে So we all are Majis and we'll have to row our boat. Nothing to do. But the question is, before leaving this heaven, though in music, in Bengal's music, this earthly world is depicted as the dojok. Dojoker bhar loye porwar bosailen bajar sai muktaron. These songs, suppose we are getting 1 to 2% songs, we'll have to explore rest of the 98%, 99.99% unexplored area. That should be our motto. And the resolution of this, meeting or of Google Meet seminar, what I can share you, like, who is the real question lies in the different way, like who is going to write a broken board? Is there a solution? Because these songs are the key, like the mantras. Okay, because before the advent of the medical science and everything, our music The Baul songs and the Baul philosophy is describing the body, universe, creations, questioning different, many issues. So, with an example of Bhati Ali, I can ask you to sing also. Who is going to write a broken board? ছিল সোনার দাঁড় পবনের বৈঠা ময়ূর পঙ্খী নাওখানা চন্দ্র সূরজ গোলই ভরি ফুল ছড়াতো জোছনা আগে জানলে ইজ দ্য কোরাস লাইন দেবলিনা সিং আগে জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না ওই আমার দরদি আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না লবঙ্গ লতিকার দেশে যাবার ছিল বাসনা হায় মাছ দরিয়ায় নাও ডুবিল উপায় কি তাই বলো না আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না ওই আমার দরদি আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না সৌ 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 দরিয়াতে উঠে ঢেউ এই তুফানেতে কেউ গাং পাড়ি দিও না ওরে বেসমুদ্রের পানি দেখা ভয়েতে প্রাণ বাঁচে না আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না ফল ফল চল চল বহে জল টলমল আগে চল নাহি বল তবু চল ওরে মাঝি তুই কেন হলি আজ বিমনা তোর সামনে নাচে বিজলি লয়ে কন্যা সোনার বড় না আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না ওই আমার দরদি আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায় চড়তাম না ওই আমার দরদি আগে জানলে আমি জানলে তোর ভাঙ্গা নৌকায়
চড়তাম না। What a wonderful note to end this discussion. Thank you, Saurav.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
CFSR, thank you, CFCS, thank you, Jolly sir, Intajda, and everyone present here. Thank you. We end this session here. Thank you, Saurav.
Take care.
Thank you, Debolina. Thank you all. Thank you, Uttaranda, for waiting. It was a blissful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I must say, what an interesting and soothing session it was. Truly, a performer expresses life so well, and Mr. Saurav Moni has absolutely portrayed what it means to be an artist. It is an honor to have Mr. Moni with us today. Your presence has filled everyone with compassion and an urge to know the roots of life more. Thank you, sir. I also thank the chair, Ms. Guha Thakurta, for this absorbing conversation, and can't miss out to thank Jolly sir, Intaj sir, and everyone present here to make this session a successful one. Thank you, everyone. Host Akanksha signing off.
After such